That was an opportunity lost. If there is one word that has defined our season so far, it is almost clicking, almost dominant, and tonight, almost victorious. Well, yeah. So, before we get into it, welcome to United Talks Podcast. This is the full match review for the game between Manchester United and West Ham United at Old Trafford. It was Manchester United 1, West Ham United 1. You know, and like I said, if there's one word that has defined our season so far for Man United, it is almost for everything, like almost clicking, almost dominant, and tonight almost victorious. You walk away from Old Trafford after a game like this, a 1-1 draw against a West Ham side fighting for their Premier League lives, and you don't feel anger exactly. You feel exhaustion because this was the match that was there for the taking. This is another game, just like the Spurs game, that was there for the taking. Excuse me, but we didn't. It was in the palm of their hands, and yet it was in the palm of our hands, but yet through a mixture of old habits, bad luck, and failure to kill off the game, 2 points slipped through the cracks again. So, like I said, welcome back to the channel, and today we'll be dissecting what happened under the Thursday night lights at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, West Ham United 1. This result keeps Amorim's side just outside the coveted top 5. Looking in through the window, we are going to break down the tactical battles, the individual performances, from the brilliance of Ama to the quiet heartbreak of that late equaliser, and we're going to ask a big question: was this a point gained in a tough league or 2 massive points dropped? Well, you all know my take on this. It's 2 points dropped, but let's set the stage. The narrative coming into this was clear. You had a United side trying to build on momentum of the Rúben Amorim era, facing a West Ham side led by Nuno Espirito Santo that has been frankly struggling. The Hammers arrived in Manchester, knowing they were in a scrap at the bottom of the table, considering that Leeds won against Chelsea. Now, you also know that Aaron Wan-Bissaka returning to Old Trafford was always written in the stars to be a major plot point, right? And you know also that a wounded animal is dangerous, and that is West Ham. From the first whistle, the dynamic was exactly what we expected. United wanted control, West Ham wanted to survive and counter, especially pressing really hard. But the first half wasn't, a boring tactical stalemate. It was actually hugely entertaining, mostly because of the sheer intensity United applied in the final third and the aggression that Fulham applied in the first 15 minutes. That West Ham applied in the first 15 minutes. That's another harm that we haven't defeated this season. Let's talk about the first 30 minutes. And the next game is against the Wolverhampton one. Anyway, this is what it is. Let's talk about the first 30 minutes because this is where the what ifs start to pile up. The combination play between Bryan Mbeumo and Bruno Fernandes really starting to look like the heartbeat of this team. But there was a moment in the 28th minute that summed up their understanding perfectly, and it was the corner routine, right? Something we've seen Amorim work heavily on. Mbeumo goes short, plays a 1-2 with Bruno Fernandes, and suddenly Bruno is free on the edge of the box. He calls this absolute beauty towards the far corner. It's the kind of shot that usually nestles in the side netting, but Areola, produced a fingertip save that defied physics, and that was from Bryan Mbeumo's shot. Now, the moment felt like the ignition key. The volume inside Old Trafford went up a notch, and the Stretford End sensed that the goal was coming, right? So, and it should have come, basically. Now, we have to talk about Zirkzee. The striker role in this system is so demanding. You have to be the link play, you have to press, but ultimately you have to also finish. Zirkzee did everything right in terms of positioning when Ahmad whipped the cross in. He's there, close range, he nets, he gets a knee to it, and it's not the prettiest contact, obviously, but it's effective. The ball is looping in, Lomens is beaten, and out of nowhere, there's Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Yeah. right? So basically that ball that was looped in from Ahmad was going to beat Areola, and then lo and behold, after Zirkzee hit the ball with his knee, was going to beat Areola, and then Wan-Bissaka was there, saved it from the line. How the plot has twisted, isn't it? Of course, it had to be Wan-Bissaka. We spent years watching him make those, telescopic, impossible slide tackles for United, and Wan-Bissaka should have gotten a red card in this game, because there was one where he made a slide tackle and then the time went past, and then Luke Shaw had to foul, and then obviously Luke Shaw was fouling. They gave Luke Shaw the yellow card, forgot about Wan-Bissaka's zone, and the ref was just making shambolic calls and all that. But tonight had it all. And obviously, Wan-Bissaka did it against United. He cleared it off the line when the goal seemed inevitable, and even on the follow-up, when Cunha tries the spectacular overhead kick and Bruno volleys the rebound, it just wouldn't go in. The sequence was the story of the first half: chaos, pressure, but no breakthrough. And tactically, the battle on the wings was fascinating. Amad Diallo was an absolute menace on the right side. He was up against El Hadj Malik Diouf, and to be honest, he gave the West Ham defender nightmares. I mean, the guy got a yellow card, obviously. Ahmad was beating him inside, beating him outside, drawing fouls. He eventually got Diouf booked, but before halftime, and that was actually before halftime, which was a massive win for United's game plan. But he was supposed to continue that, and Diouf, already getting a yellow, could have also gotten a red. And it felt like if the breakthrough was going to come, it was going to come from Ahmad's feet. But we had to be fair to West Ham. We have to be fair to West Ham. They weren't just passengers. Bowen is a serious player. And even when his team is under the cosh, he provides basically the terrifying outlet. There was a moment when he sliced through 3 United defenders, just pure drive and determination, and got a shot off. Lamens held it well, but it was a warning shot. It said, "We are still here, don't fall asleep." The first half ended 0-0, but it didn't feel like a board draw. It felt like a coil being wound tighter and tighter. Now let's move to the interval. Rúben Amorim made a decision that I think warrants some discussion. He took off Heaven. And the discussion around that is, why did he take off Heaven? Yeah, he got a yellow card in the first half. The youngster had done really well, no doubt, but he was getting done by the West Ham striker, right? But, he was on a tightrope. He had Callum Wilson, one of the darkest arts practitioners in the league, looking around him. Amorim clearly sensed red card risk and brought on Leny Yoro. It was pragmatic, mature substitution, and it showed that the manager wasn't just watching the ball, he was managing the game state. I saw at some point where Rúben Amorim had to actually tell Aiden Heaven to actually, focus and calm down so that he doesn't get booked and stuff, right? The second half started, and initially it looked like the frustration was going to continue. United had the ball in the net almost immediately through Mbeumo after a short corner, but the flag went up. Yoro, also the substitute, was judged to be blocking Areola's view from an offside position. It was the correct call, but it was another punch in the gut for the fans, and you start to get the feeling in the stadium. Is it going to be one of those nights? But then the release. We often talk about Casemiro's defensive work, but his ability to strike the ball from range is a weapon that forces defensives to step out. And Casemiro takes a shot, and it takes a deflection or creates chaos, and the ball falls loose in the box. And who's there? Diogo Dalot, right beside Cunha. Now, we need to appreciate the composure there, because a lot of fullbacks in the 6-yard box panic and they lash at it, but Dalot didn't. He took a touch, settled himself, and he let the defenders commit, and then he dispatched it past Areola. It was a striker's finish from the wing back, and the relief in the stadium was palpable. It felt like, the dam had finally broken. 1-0, 55 minutes gone. The game plan was working. At this point, the game changed complexity and complexion entirely. West Ham who had been happy to sit in the low block and frustrate, suddenly had to play football. They had to come out, and this was where the game became a battle of attrition. And this is where Man United should have found the meaning, found some meaningful play and all of that. But for 25 minutes, United managed to manage it relatively well. Leny Yoro was justifying his introduction, and I think he played pretty well. Well, there was a brilliant moment in the 71st minute where he made a crucial covering challenge on Bowen, and now it turned out that Bowen was offside. But then Yoro didn't know that, and he played to the whistle and showed exactly why he's so highly rated. Now, United even had a chance to kill it. Mbeumo was dancing into the box, and that's the chance I thought he could have taken. He beat what's this guy's name? He beat Jean-Claude Todibo. After beating Jean-Claude Todibo, instead of continuing, he thought Todibo was going to contact him, and he dived. And apparently, replay showed that Todibo pulled out. Right, was trying to trick Jean-Claude Todibo into a penalty when he should have just had the opportunity to shoot. The follow-up shot from Cunha was also deflected as well. Right, replay showed that Todibo pulled out just in time, which was great defending, but Mbeumo was terrorizing them. Todibo was beating Mbeumo for pace as well. Cunha had another chance that deflected over. I think it was deflected by Wan-Bissaka and went over the post. And this was a crucial part of the review. You know, when you are 1-0 up in the Premier League, you don't get a second goal. You're walking on quicksand or on a tightrope, and you are one bad bounce, one set piece, one mistake away from disaster. And West Ham, to their credit, sensed the anxiety. They started throwing bodies forward. They earned a corner with 10 minutes to go and set pieces, and they are great, and they are the great equalizer in football. The delivery comes in, it's chaotic, and the Irving finds Bowen. Bowen gets a flick. Nuzai Mazraoui, who had a solid game, is there on the line. He clears it, but then can only clear it so far, and the ball falls to Soungoutou Magassa, and he doesn't miss. 1-1, 83 minutes. And it's the timing that kills you. If you score in the 50th minute, you have time to reset. But when you score in the 83rd minute, the panic sets in. Atmosphere at Old Trafford shifts from celebration to depression or desperation in a heartbeat. The final few minutes was frantic. The basketball on grass. It was basketball on grass. Both teams wanted to win, and the controversial Aaron Wan-Bissaka was in the thick of it again. He flattened Patrick Dogo on another day, given he was already on a yellow. That would have been a sending off. The referee kept the cards in the pocket, and I don't know how we could have such a horrendous ref. And then that was a massive moment. And if you go down to 10, maybe United could find the winner. Obviously, we've struggled to even find the winners against 10. So what do you expect? But the final agonizing moment fell, to the captain in the die second when Lisandro Martinez, who had come on to add some grit, found himself venturing forward. A botched header from Jean-Claude Todibo sees the ball dropped to Bruno Fernandes, who could have just calmed down, taken a touch and blasted. But the ball is in the air, the clock is in red, it's a volley, it's difficult, the ball is moving away from him, but you just expect Bruno to hit the target. He connects, it sails over the bar. Pretty disappointing, sad, and that was it. The final whistle, United won, West Ham not won. Now, how do you want to analyze this? If you look at the XG and the general play, United were the better team. I do give you the stats in the match watch along. They created the better openings. Joshua's Zirkzee's chance cleared off the line. The disallowed goal. The control of the large periods. There were positive performances. Ahmad was electric. Was nailing down the spot on the right. Dalot showed value again. Mbeumo looks like a fantastic signing who fits the system perfectly, but we're having some poor games here and there. But the football isn't played on spreadsheets. It's played in moments. And the reality is United lacked the killer instincts to put the game to bed, and they were on top. They allowed West Ham to hang around, and when you let Bowen and set-piece threats hang around until the 80th minute, you get punished. For Nuno and West Ham, this is a golden point. They didn't play particularly well, but they showed resilience. They bent, but they didn't break. And they took the one real scrappy chance that fell their way. For Rúben Amorim, this will be a frustrating film session. The structure is there. The defensive transition until the goal was decent, but the inability to convert dominance into a 2-0 or 3-0 lead is what separates top 4 from the rest. The result denies United a spot in the top 5, and it keeps them in the chasing pack, fighting for every inch. It feels like 2 points dropped, no doubt about it. But in the long run, if you can keep playing with this intensity and wins, the wins will come. But most Man United fans will not be willing to wait for such a time. The question is, will they come soon enough to achieve the targets of the season? I had, interesting conversation with the community in the chat, in the live chat today, and obviously, most of them some were defending, others were not happy with the way things were. I want to know what you guys think. Was this bad luck or with the goal line clearance, or is there a deeper issue with finishing in the squad? I don't think that is a deeper issue with finishing in the squad, but I want to know your thoughts. And what did you make of the substitution of Heaven for Yoro? I mean, I think it was wise substitution because you don't want to put Heaven in a situation where we're a man down. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. And then we're going to do the player ratings pretty quickly. No big deal in this one. Obviously, pretty straightforward. Austin Lamont, 6.5 performance. Didn't have much to do in the game. Couple saves, 2 saves here and there. That's it. Nothing particularly spectacular to do in the game. He's been robbed off his clean sheet. He's supposed to have his second clean sheet today, but it didn't happen. You have next on the list, Mazraoui, 7.5 performance. Was driving the ball forward. Was doing really well. Was pushing forward, pushing hard for the team and all of that. Created a couple chances and was defensively astute, cleared the ball off the line and was there when needed. Eddie Heaven, only 45 minutes or 46 minutes to judge, so 6.5 performance. Would have done better on the day. Next person on our list is Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw gets a 6.5 performance. Oh no, 7.0 performance. Did really well as well. Remember the couple things where he did right and how he defended well and until he was subbed off in the 88th minute. And then we go to our left wing back in Diogo Dalot. Gets a 7.5 performance. Scored a goal today. Did really well. Found himself in the goal, in front of goal and dispatched his chance really well. Casemiro, steady, clean game, no cards, nothing, 7.0 performance. Also kept the game ticking and all of that. Another person again that did really well today was our outlet, Amad Diallo, 7.5 performance. Did really well as well. Played really well, created a couple chances, was putting crosses in the box and everything. And then Brian Mbumo, poor performance today. Things weren't just clicking. He was being marked out of the game. Thought he could have shifted position to kind of confuse the West Ham defenders. But even when moved to the false 9, it didn't work out. So 6.5. Matheus Cunha just come back from injury, played 77 minutes, 6.0. Didn't really perform anything out of ordinary or the things that we've known Cunha to do. Next one is Joshua Zirkzee. Gets a 6.5 performance as well. Came off in the 78th minute. Things weren't clicking like that. And to my man of the match, as always, we'll look at why he's the man of the match. He made things tick. He created the most chances. There's so many things why he's the man of the match. Created the most chances in the game, 5. And he hit the woodwork 1 in 6 total shots that he's had. So he's had a good game, man of the match as well for this game. He gets 8.5 performance from me, performance rating. Leny Yoro, 6.5. Came on in 46 minutes. Nothing spectacular other than the basics that he was to do as centre back, and that's the future right there. Patrick Dogo, 6.5, almost going to 7. Did well, came in 68th minute, didn't really make anything happen. Was nothing materialized from him coming on or making any. He didn't kind of affect the game in the way that I would expect him to affect. I mean, Dalot would have done something different. I mean, the left side was really tight with Dalot on. Manuel Gatti, another under the radar kind of game, 6.0. Came on the 77th minute. Nothing spectacular other than that. Next person is Mason Mount, 6.0 as well. Nothing spectacular. Came in the 78th minute. Was involved in some of the things, but was not involved as such. Lisandro Martinez, no rating, but he created a couple chances. Created a chance for Bruno from the defense line, crossing the ball, defending really well. Came in the 88th minute. And yeah, and to Rúben Amorim, based on the whole team performance, I'm not going to blame him for anything other than just the fact that, you know, you only work with the players that you're given, right? And the ones that are injured are injured. So Rúben Amorim gets a 6.5 from me, and the entire team rating based on the addition of all the ratings get a 7.0. So this is what it is. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. And also, if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit the like button, and it really helps. It helps the channel. I mean, it's free. There's nothing like nothing. It doesn't cost you anything to actually like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already for more deep dive match reviews and tactical analysis. I mean, we'll be back, you know, when Man United play again, but also we're going to do the takeaways from the game, which is the next video you're going to see. But until then, thank you so much for watching. For those who joined the live stream, live watch along, thank you for joining. Thank you for making this United Talks podcast all the more fun. We've been doing this for more than a year now, and it's been fun. It's been super interesting. I've seen the growth of this community and the ability for us to actually come together and do things and make things work. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye, and God bless.